Okay, boys and girls, we're going to start our math lesson today with one of my very favorite stories. Now, we read this just the other day. Who remembers the name of this book?
Snowy Day.
That's right. Next time, raise your hand, though, okay? It is. It's The Snowy Day, written by Ezra Jack Keats. Yes?
My dog's name is Ezra.
Oh, my gosh. What a coincidence. Now, this story, we know, is about Peter. This is Peter right here, and one day he wakes up to the most magnificent thing. Who remembers what it is?
What is snow? There's a lot. There's a snow is covering things.
The snow is covering everything. Show me what it looks like when you wake up and look out the window and you see this much snow. Can you show me what it looks like? Does it look like this? I think it looks like that. So one winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. Look out Peter's window. Do you think, well, how about this? Where do you think Peter lives? Look out the window. What do you think?
Maybe a greenhouse?
You think this greenhouse, is there plants and vegetables growing in there? Could it be a greenhouse?
Maybe it's all flooded with snow.
Maybe. What do you think?
Hey, that's enough fun.
You think he might live at the North Pole? That is a lot of snow. What do you think?
I think he lives in New Mexico or Mississippi.
New Mexico or Mississippi? Well, those are pretty interesting guesses. Do you know what I think? When I look out this window, do you know what I see? A lot of buildings. I see a lot of buildings. Can you see them?
Yeah.
What do you think, Jordan?
New York City.
You think it might be New York City? Do you think it might be a city? Why do you think it might be a city? You think it's New York? Because of what?
Because in New York they have lots of buildings.
They do have lots of buildings. Big cities have lots of buildings. There might be some other clues further in. I think I remember Peter meeting a friend in the hallway. So, after breakfast, Peter put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking.
Ooh.
So there's streets with sidewalks. You see those things in cities, don't you, boys and girls?
Yeah.
Yes, Isaac.
My dad went to New York City.
Has he been there? Maybe you should ask him about the buildings. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His feet sank into the snow, and he walked with his toes pointing out like this. And then he walked with his toes pointing in like that. Can we see it with his footprints?
Yeah.
Yes.
My dad used to live in New York.
Your dad used to live there? We should ask him about the buildings too. Now, he walked putting his feet like this and like that, and my page is stuck. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks. And he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. What is it?
A stick.
It's a stick. Sticks are fun in the snow. It was a stick. A stick was just right for smacking a snow-covered tree. And what happens to Peter? What happens? Tell me. Down fell the snow plop right on top of Peter's head. Has that ever happened to you?
No.
Yes. He thought it would be fun to join in the big boys' snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough yet.
I see a snowball on him.
So he made a smiling snowman
That's a cute one.
and snow angels.
Oh, those are real ones.
They look like it, don't they? He pretended that he was a mountain climber, and he climbed up the great, big, tall, heaping mountain of snow.
Oh.
And then he slid all the way down. Look how much fun he's having. He puts his hands up and slides all the way down. That looks like fun.
I would pick up the snow and throw it.
Is that what you would do? You like to throw snow?
I would just slide on it.
He picked up a handful of snow, and then another, and still another, and he packed it round and firm and put the snowball into his pocket.
I will not bring it in my house. Never.
You wouldn't bring it in your house?
Me either.
He put it in his pocket to save it for tomorrow. And then he went into his warm house. But we know what happens, don't we, boys and girls?
Yes.
He told his mom all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. And he thought, and he thought, and he thought about all the things he had done that day. Before he got into bed, he looked in his pocket. His pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there, and he was very sad.
I see some brown in his pocket. That might be the melt.
You think it's the melted snow?
I think
What do we know about
hair.
snow? What's snow made out of?
Water.
So when it melts, what happens?
Stains.
It gets, well, it doesn't stain, it just gets wet.
Maybe like ice.
The snow is water.
He probably didn't learn it yet, you're right. So while he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted all the snow away. But when he woke up, his dream was gone. Phew. The snow was still everywhere, and new snow was falling. Look how happy he is.
I can make another one. My pocket.
After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall and they went out together into the deep, deep snow.
That snow is bigger.
It is really big, isn't it? That's look how little they are. The snow's so big.
There's just a little thing on the
Do you think it's a house? That was going to be my question, Joey. So he said he called his friend from across the hall, and they went outside together in the snow. Did he say across the street or across the hall? So do you think that he might live in an apartment building or a house?
Apartment.
I think so, and we see more apartment buildings in a city. So I think we might be right about knowing that Peter lives in a city, maybe even New York. That's pretty awesome. And we know that the last page just shows some more beautiful snow.
Because it's
So
all
now
white.
it is. I need to ask you to put on your imagination cap, okay? Is everybody got their imagination caps on? Good. Now I want you to pretend that Peter made 5 snowballs. Now we're going to pretend that these 5 cotton balls, oh, one drop. These 5 cotton balls are the snowballs that Peter made. Can we agree that there's 5?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They like to fall. Did you see how I touched each one to make sure I had 5? It's a good counting strategy. Now I want you to think about some more counting strategies because I'm going to put these 5 snowballs, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to put some of them in my pocket like Peter did. I have some snowballs in my pocket and I have some snowballs in my hand. We need to figure out how many snowballs are in my pocket, and I'm not going to take them out. How did you know there were 3?
Because there's only 2, and 2 plus 3 is 5.
2 and 3 is 5, and that is very true. But if you didn't know that, what's a tool that we could use? What's a tool that we could, with a quiet hand? Charlotte, what's a tool?
5 frame.
We could use a 5 frame. Now, I have a really cool 5 frame right here. I have a 5 frame with magnet dots on it. I'm going to take all of these down. Charlotte, tell me, how many dots do I have?
5.
5, so 1 for each square. Is that correct? Yes. Now, did we have 5 snowballs? Mm-hmm. Now, Jordan said, hey, you have 2 right here. So I'm going to put 2 up onto the 5 frame. Oh, thank you so much for catching my snow. It likes to blow, doesn't it? So I moved 2 snowballs up onto my 5 frame. Charlotte, how can this tell me how many snowballs are in my pocket?
3.
How do you know?
Because on the 5 frame it helps you when there's 2 on there and 3 on the bottom.
So you're saying there's 3 dots down here and there's 2 up here. So you know that there's 3 and 2 make 5. Is there another way we can look at this?
Yeah.
What do we know just from looking at this? How many empty squares are there? 3. Can we do that too? Can we say that there's two squares have things in them? Boys and girls in the back, please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you. So there's 2 squares filled and there's 3 empty. We know there's 5 altogether. So can we say this is 2 and 3 more? Could we also say what Jordan said? Could we say 2 plus 3 equals 4 or 5?
Yeah.
It does. It equals 5. Now,
How did those?
what's another tool we can use to figure it out? What if we didn't have a 5 frame? What else could we do?
I could use some things in the classroom that you use some things like dominoes.
We could use something that we have in the classroom like dominoes, or could we use dinosaurs? Are you guys talking about counters?
Busy bees.
Busy bees. What a coincidence,
Or
Miss
checkers.
Alana. Because yeah, we could use checkers. We have a lot of different things that we can use to count, don't we?
And paper.
So my friend Alana said busy bees. So we have
Bear.
5 busy bees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we have 5 bees right here, and I take 2 away. I'm going to take 2 away because I have 2 in my lap right here. How many bees are left? 3. So did these counters help us figure out that 2 and 3 are how many? 5. Maggie, we just use counters to make 5. Can you think of another way to help us solve the problem? Can you think of anything else? Does anybody else have another way that we can, a tool we can use?
We can use some math problems.
Well, we're solving a math problem. We could use our math brains, right? Emma, do you have an idea?
You can use circles that connect.
Circles that connect.
1, 2,
1, 2, 3. Are you telling me about a part whole mat?
yeah.
Yes, she is. That's a great idea. We could use part whole. We could use a drawing of a part whole mat, or we could even draw Peter and his pockets. Look over here.
Or we could draw something on a piece of paper.
We could use any paper. Do we have to use big paper to solve math problems? No. So we're going to use Emma's idea of part whole. So Emma, here's part,
Whole.
here's part, and here's the whole number, right? Now tell me, how many snowballs did Peter make? In our math problem, how many snowballs did Peter make? 5. So altogether we have 5 snowballs. Part is in my pockets, and part is over here. The part that we can see is 2.
And 3 in your pocket.
So we can figure that out by crossing some of these off out of the whole section. Look, we can take an X and X. These are the 2. They moved right up here. How many are left?
3.
1, 2, 3. Part is 2, part is 3. Altogether, there are 5 snowballs. Now, if I wanted to, could I draw Peter? All right, here's Peter, and he made 5 snowballs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many snowballs did I show you? He has some in his pocket. How many did I show you? 2. So we're going to say, here's the 2 that Peter has. Girls in the front. Thank you. Here's the 2 snowballs that Peter left out. How many does that leave in his pocket?
3.
1, 2, 3. And they're in his pocket, or my pocket right now, aren't they? So that means we have 2 snowballs in Peter's hand and 3 snowballs in Peter's pocket equals, or is the same as how many snowballs? 5.
5s are easy to draw.
5s are pretty fun to write. I like them. You're right. So guys, should we check and see how many snowballs are in my pocket? Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3. So I had 3 in my pocket and 2 left out. Boys and girls, were we right?
Yes.
2 and 3 equal 5 every day. Give yourselves a pat on the back if you knew that Peter had 3 snowballs in his pocket. How long do you think the snowballs would last in his pocket? Not very long.
100,000.
100,000? So boys and girls, I'm going to put a page on our webpage that's going to have this same problem written down. But here's my challenge. Are you ready for a challenge? I want you to show me all the different ways that there can be, or that there are snowballs in Peter's pocket and out in his hand for all the different ways to make 5. I want to see all the different ways that you know how to make 5, and I want you to show me with drawings.
4
Do you
and
think
1?
you can do it? 4 and 1. Good job, Erin. Fabulous. Good job, boys and girls. Thank you.